The subject is reflection or reflections on the eve of the golden day. Golden day is the 29th of February. And what is that golden day? The day when the mother brought down the force, the light, the force and the consciousness of the supermind. With human mind, however powerful, even 100 times powerful than mind of mine, nobody can speak about supermind. No human language can express it. Even Mother herself repeatedly tells us that whatever she is speaking about supermind and the incident that took place, they are very poor presentation through language which we can understand probably. But the reality is something far, far different that is incomprehensible. Even such brilliant minds, if there are any, who are psychicized, that is to say, minds which have been spiritually refined to be very closer to the divine truth, they may probably feel a little vibration of what supermind is, but that vibration they can never communicate. Just as you cannot communicate the fragrance of rose or lotus through language to anybody, they cannot communicate that vibration, even if they receive it. Nevertheless, the fact is it happened. And however poorly, we have to try to comprehend it through the medium available to us, our language and our sense of logic. I speak taking as hypothesis the fact that you are all believers in Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. I need not be on guard about my words. I can be straight and try to be simple. Well, we always try to understand things in a sequence, logically. But logic is a product of mind. Only the other day, in terms of evolution, when the vast universe was created, there was nothing as logic. We cannot logically explain why in this indescribable infinity, hundreds of planets, incalculably greater than our little earth, even greater than the sun, gets exploded like firecrackers on earth. Why? What is the logic behind it? Well, similarly, there are actions of consciousnesses, avatars, which cannot be always understood, appreciated with our poor logical mind. I can understand Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I believe all of you know what Mother and Sri Aurobindo are. Avatars. But then avatars, many people have different concepts of avatar. For many, avatar is one who can perform miracles. No. The first thing you have to remember is, avatar is a deliberate descent of the divine, penetrating the line which divides humanity and the divine. So they have to come down to become human beings, behave as human beings, live as human beings, participate in small and big affairs of human beings, at the same time without ceasing to be the pioneer of the mission with which they have come. Now, we are told, and those who are, I do not know how many very, very gifted sadhaks are there today, but those who were with Mother and Sri Aurobindo, many of them are blessed ones, who also realized and who knew that whenever there was a little turn in evolution, whenever there was a possibility of progress in the development of consciousness upon the earth, Mother and Sri Aurobindo were always present, not necessarily conspicuous, not necessarily known to everybody as avatars or as divinities, but they were present. We appreciate this. But then how can I appreciate, how can I understand? Look here, in the Himalayas, midway, a tall peak, there is a cave. Inside that cave, there lies a beautiful body of a young girl. And the cave is filled with snow. A princess lies there. And who is she? She was the mother. Mother herself has said this. Why was it necessary for her to be born as a princess somewhere in a little known kingdom and die so young and to remain interned in the cave filled with snow? Logic cannot appreciate this. So their activities, I'm just something which I remember I told you, we cannot always expect to analyze or appreciate their activities in terms of our understanding, our logic. What did Sri Aurobindo stand for? Before we come to the purpose which Sri Aurobindo came down upon the earth, the consciousness which incarnated as Sri Aurobindo, or which took shelter in the body of Sri Aurobindo, whatever it is. Before that, we have to see 5 categories of human beings. Spiritually speaking, we can separate humanity into 5 categories. One category is those who are born, they take life for granted, they live, deriving as much happiness as possible from life, satisfy themselves, satisfy their vanity, satisfy their desires, and suddenly one day death comes, prepared or not prepared, they resign to it. I think greater part of humanity will belong to this category. Second category is those who live for an ideal, a social worker, or a great scientist, a discoverer, explorer. They believe that life has a value. But why? Why this life? Why this riddle of life? They don't bother about that. They bother about riddle of nature. They discover, a great scientist discovers many secrets of nature. A great well-wisher of humanity evolves some new system of administration, some political theory. Second category. Third category. Those who believe that there is something more than the pure physical mundane life which ordinarily people lead. They indulge in philosophy. They become religious people. They know that parallel to our pure physical materialistic life, there ought to be another life which believes in certain higher values. They go to temples, they give religious discourses, they study religion, they become themselves pioneers of many religious movements, etc., etc. Then there is the fourth category. People who simply don't understand why all this. What's the meaning of being born only to die? What's the meaning of all these competitions, rivalry, war, striving for peace? All this humbug, this is illusion, this is nothing. And they break away from life in quest of the truth of life, or the why of life, or the why of anything at all. They break away from life, ascetics, sannyasis. Well, certainly they are wiser than the other 3 categories, probably. But there is a 5th category. They are disillusioned with life. all that goes on upon this earth, all the struggles, they're disgusted with them. They don't find any meaning in all these things. But at the same time, they don't understand. Why did call it providence, call it a mighty power, call it God? Why did that power create this world at all? If to break away from life and to become an ascetic and avoid all problems and live alone in peace is the real meaning of life. Why at all this huge earth with society, with culture, music, literature, sculpture, hundreds of human activities, why all this were created at all? Was it an accident? Big Bang and everything comes like this? No. The atomic scientist, Niels Bittner, he spoke beautifully one day that, well, to believe that the entire life, the world, is a result of an accident is equivalent to believing there was an explosion in a printing press as a result of which Webster's dictionary came out. After it is a jumble of words, dictionary. But can you replace one word for another word? Can you change the position of one word? Such is the intricate conditions, intricate engineering, intricate build of life that it is impossible for any person with a little common sense to believe that this could be a result of an accident. But then why? Well, we believe there is something, some future of this society, this world with all its activities, manifold activities, beautiful earth, though pulled down by human ignorance, still a promising earth. We live by hope. We live by, well, something every moment, if you analyze a little bit, every moment we live by hope. Something is happening next moment. We do not know that, and that is why because we do not know, we hope for the best. So all these hopes are there. One day there has to be a fruitioning of all these hopes. That is the category to which Sri Aurobindo comes as a complete answer. Indeed, humanity is no accident, earth is no accident. It has a divine future. It has a divine future, but that future can be ensured not through all the, till today historically, whatever we have done, our vital exercises, our sense of renunciation, asceticism, etc., etc. That has to come with a greater power, far greater than the mind. Mind is still half animalish and half otherwise. But there is something greater than the mind which has to come manifest, and only then all that wonderful dreams of humanity since the times, beginning of time, even there is a beginning of time at all, can be fulfilled and justified. So that was Sri Aurobindo's message. And it was just not a speculation. It was just not even a real vision, concrete vision. It was a work for him. It was his mission to translate that vision into a reality. His tapasya, his yoga was meant for establishing or repressing human mind, which has outlived itself, to use a term from the mother, which has outlived itself mind, to replace this mind with something million times more powerful, luminous, and ennobling, that is supermind. And he continued in his yoga till a certain point. We cannot understand what's that point. But the mother says, I'm quoting her, the working of the supermind in my body has gone on since the 5th of December, 1950. That reminds us, should remind us, many of you know about it, when Sri Aurobindo left her body on the 5th, then practically 4th, after 1 o'clock. It was still, according to Indian calculation, it is 4th still. But 5th, let us say, and the body did not show any sign of degeneration. A lucky disciple, Dr. Prabhat Kumar Sanyal, when the procession of people passing by, stopped for some time, he was sitting on the floor. Mother was standing at the feet of Sri Aurobindo. The majestic body was lying in state. And Dr. Sanyal had the courage to ask Mother, Mother, how is it that the body does not show any sign of decomposition? And in a matter of fact, Mother said, well, it can't show because the supramental light which the body has brought down, unless it leaves the body, natural law will not operate. I'm not quoting Mother, but exactly this is the sense. And this, Dr. Sandal had the audacity or had the indulgent demand on the Mother. He could ask, Mother, where is that light? Can't I see it? Well, Mother smiled and pressed her hand for a moment on his head, and he saw the bluish golden light mantle enveloping the human body, the master's body. So, I believe the Mother had to imbibe the entire power, the entire force. That day, Mother says, from that day, the working of the supermind in my body has gone on since the 5th of December 1950. Then, what happened on 29th of February 1956? You all know about it, but still, that is the subject. I must read it out to you. And it is this. Mother says that what she has stated is a very, very poor edition of the reality, because language cannot cope with the experience which she had. And what is that experience? This evening, the divine presence, Mother did not reveal it immediately. This happened on 29th of February. Mother wrote in the bulletin of April, and she is addressing those who are present at that time on that day. This evening, the divine presence, concrete and material, were there present amongst you. I had a form of living gold, bigger than the universe. Imagine. Can you imagine? I can't. Bigger than the universe. The Mother has a golden form, bigger than the universe. And I was facing a huge and massive golden door, which separated the world from the divine. As I looked at the door, I knew and willed, mark the words, I knew and willed in a single movement of consciousness. There is no gap between knowing and willing. I knew and willed in a single movement of consciousness that the time has come. And lifting with both hands a mighty golden hammer, I struck one blow, one single blow on the door, and the door was shattered to pieces. Then the supramental light and force and consciousness rushed down upon earth in an uninterrupted flow. The question is, what thereafter? In many words, under different circumstances, in different contexts, Mother explained it. It is a reality. It is something which has happened. But between that happening and its manifestation, a descent into her, manifestation in the many, there is a gap. And that gap is the result of the love we the human beings have for ignorance. Very difficult to digest, my dear friends, this comment, the love we have for ignorance. 99 times in our life we know what we should do, what we should not do. But we do what we should not do. Hypocrisy, lies, and as the great pressure is coming, the dire unconscious, ignorant unconscious from below is rushing up also. And today, I need hardly say, never before Mother Earth had experienced so much anguish, so much of violence, so much of tyranny, so much of betrayal, so much of perversion. Well, this is the reality. But then, I don't want to elaborate on that. I don't want to take much of your time at this hour of the night. But I just want to tell you one thing, that outside this hullabaloo, which constitutes the major world, the major part of humanity, quietly, truth is trying to establish itself. I will just give a few examples of some latest research which is done by recognized universities abroad. Subjects which had never been taken up by scientists or psychologists. Subjects which belong to purely spiritual state. For example, one, optimism and health. You see, again and again we have to remember, we live with hope. Several times I have stated, the very first cry a newborn child gives out is an assertion of its hope and faith that there are loving hands around me to pick me up and to nurture me and to protect me. Every step we take with faith. Every morsel of food I take with faith. 99.9% of our activities of our life constitute of faith. Now psychological research proves that optimism, this faith in something good, a hope in the future, people who are the most optimistic were twice as likely, very, very physical, material terms, twice as likely to have ideal cardiovascular health and 55% more likely to have a total health score in the intermediate range, the researchers found. Which means optimism, faith in the future is an ingredient of our existence, basic ingredient of our existence. Optimists had significantly better blood sugar. All those who have blood sugar must become very optimistic now that there is something good awaiting us, if not in this life, the next life. Our life is a continuity. Never believe, never take a certain span of time beginning with a date of birth and ending with a date of death as our life. Our life is a continuity. Now, optimists had significantly better blood sugar and total cholesterol levels than their counterparts, those who were pessimists, those who didn't. They also were more physically active, optimists, had healthier body mass indexes, and were less likely to smoke. Very important point. Behind smoking, there's a subconscious despair, a subconscious escapism. You ask some question to me. My answer not very comfortable. I take up the cigarette now, as if I am taking some very legitimate concession of time from you, smoking the cigarette. There is a subconscious inclination to escape from a reality, smoking. Anyway, optimists are less likely to smoke even. What wonderful finding. And many other things, but I won't go into them. Now, next, which is very important, is Optimism and longevity. Optimists, this is 2019 research published in September 2019, and this is from University of School of Medicine and Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. It says that optimists are likelier than others to live to be 85 years old and further. I have completed 85 years almost a year ago, so I'm supposed to be an optimist. I don't know, but I hope you all become optimists. Now, that is Boston University and several other institutes together, they carried out a very thorough research about it. Now, the next research, optimism and sleep. Optimists sleep better. I won't go into statistics, there are long statistics, of course. And then the second, what a discovery, what a conclusion. This is, you see, a research by, very famous research it is, Karen Wynne, and professor of psychology, and the research says they chose groups of kids 6 months old and 10 months old, not one or two, hundreds. Very disciplined order of research. And they, stating very briefly, they hold before them a picture of a mountain and a loving figure climbing the mountain. Then they saw another figure coming and pulling the climber down. And a third figure coming, trying to help the climber to go up. This picture is held before the kids, for quite some time. Then, these two characters, one who was helping the climber and one who was trying to pull down the climber, these two pictures are held before them. The child's natural inclination, loving, tender hand goes towards the helper to the climber, the idol which is helping the climber. In other words, the conclusion is goodness, help, progress, they are inherent in the child's consciousness. Very long research. And compassion, the next research. You see, this is again a very elaborate research. I'm not going to give the institutions' names, etc. It will take time. But then, we generally believe, Freud and all these people have made us believe for a long time, that man is a very self-centered creature. Selfish. It understands its own interest, its own survival, its own mission, own happiness, own pleasure. But this research shows, no, I'm quoting from the concluding part, a sentence from the concluding part of the research. Compassion is deeply rooted in our brains, our bodies, and in the most basic ways we communicate. So, optimism, love for progress, compassion, these are fundamental elements which constitute our character, not the apparent scenes which try to convince us otherwise that man is today irresponsible. Well. One may ask the question. The children who are so beautiful, where do these gold, somebody wrote, I remember, where do the golden children go to? Are these silly grown-up people they grow into? No. They still remain golden. But what? That reminds me, a story I should tell 50 years ago to my students. It is returning with a vengeance into my memory. I will tell you a small story, a very little story. There was a boy called, say, let us call him Ramu. He has an acre of land. He's alone. And he goes, he tills the soil. He earns his livelihood from that little labor. One day, after a day's work, he's tired and he's seated under the tree. The king's herald is passing by on a horse. And he is announcing that the king has dreamed a very strange dream, unusual dream. Whoever can explain the meaning of the dream to him will get 100 gold pieces. And the dream is, what is the dream? The king is seated on his throne and a jackal is trying to jump onto his lap. And the king is trying to ward off. But it is insistent, the jackal, very, very cunning kind of jackal. And then the king's sleep terminates. Now when the announcement is heard by Ramu, he tells himself aloud, oh, only if I could explain that dream to the king, I will be the richest man in the kingdom. 100 gold pieces. Suddenly he hears a very sweet voice. Do you want to know the meaning of the dream? Who is speaking? He looks up and he sees a colorful tiny bird jumping from one branch to the lower branch and asking this question. Do you want to know the dream's meaning? He says, yes, tell me. And the bird says, jackal symbolizes deceit, treachery. Now the kingdom's atmosphere is filled with deceit and treachery. Go and tell the king he should be on his guard. Ramu goes and tells the king the meaning of the dream. King is happy, convinced, gives him 100 gold pieces, and Ramu comes back. But age, yes, I'm sorry to tell, I forgot. The bird says, I'll give you the meaning, but on condition that you will part with your prize. Half of your reward you will part for me. Give me. Ramu said, yes, of course, I will give you. Now as he has got 100 gold chips coming, he asks himself, oh, what a pity, I have to part with 50%. Why? Why should I? And the bird, what use it has got with this gold? He changes his way and comes back home. From next day, he does not require to go to his field because he employs now workers. 100 gold pieces a used property, a great treasure. Years have passed. He is a rich man now, married with children, wealthy, hundreds of servants working for him in his fields. He is a landlord. One day suddenly, he hears footsteps of a horse. He comes out and sees the king's commander is there. And the commander asks him, come up, come very soon. King has dreamed another dream. You have to explain it. Now he is panicky. He has betrayed the bird. How can he? And whether the bird is there or not. And he says, he tells the general, sir, I have given up the habit of interpreting dream. Oh, you have given up the habit? All right. I will be happy to take your head alone and go back to the king. But I have to explain to the king. He answers this short, and this man prays to him, please give me time till tomorrow. The general says, okay, I give you time. The same evening, Ramu goes under that same tree. Weeping, he says, oh bird, whether you are there or not, I don't know. The bird says, king has dreamed another dream? Yes. What is the dream? The dream, the king's general had told him, the dream is a sword, a bloody sword is circling around the king's head. The bird says, very easy, the meaning. There is violence in the atmosphere. But tell me, you will part with half of your reward this time? Oh yes, I will. Now there is violence in the atmosphere. The king must be on his guard. He should not move about freely without bodyguards. He goes and tells the king. The king is happy, gives him this time 1,000 gold coins. Now he again thinks 500 for the bird. But if I don't give this time, the bird may go and report to the king that he is the real interpreter, not I. So he picks up a stone and keeps it ready in his palm. And the moment he approaches the tree and the bird is hopping down from the higher branch to the lower branch, he tries to kill the bird with the stone. He was a great shooter, but the bird escapes. Rama comes back home. 5 years have passed. Again the king's general is there. Come up. King has another dream. Again Ramu is panicky. Again he begs for 1 day's time. Again goes under the tree and the bird asks, will you give me half of the reward you will get this time? Yes, surely. I will give you the full reward this time. What is the dream? The dream is a lovely dove, a bird, has come and tried and perched on the king's lap, and the king is fondling the bird. Right? Tell the king, now there is peace in the atmosphere of the kingdom. The king can take up any developmental work, can move freely. Nothing will happen to him. There is faith and innocence in the atmosphere. So he goes back and tells it to the king. And the king is so happy, he gives him 10,000 gold chips. Now Ramu comes straight to the bird and tells him, the whole treasure is yours. I will go home and beg the remaining before and what I have to give you. The bird says, are you mad? What am I going to do with all this? I was joking with you. Joking with me. But in that case, you pardon me. For my conduct, you pardon me, please. What have I done to you? The bird, this is a significant part of the story. The bird is asking, pardon you for what? For my conduct? First time, I betrayed you. Second time, I tried to kill you. Oh, the bird says, it is not your conduct. First time there was treasure in the atmosphere. You just expressed the same treasure which was in the atmosphere. Second time there was violence in the atmosphere. You became violent. This time because innocence and faith are in the atmosphere, you have been truthful to me and you have come. None of the old other conducts are your conduct. That is what is happening today. The multitudes are led by very few, those who are controlling the media world or many other technological world, those who are controlling every institution of the society. And fraudulently and most selfishly, the person is experienced. But who are these few? Who are they? Why are they at all hostile to the very spirit of civilization? They are instruments of the forces which do not want man to progress, which do not want man to turn to spirituality, to turn to truth. They are such people only. And the fight between the hostile and the pioneers of truth, the heralds of truth, which started sometime in the mythical era, goes on even today. And the multitudes are helpless victims of the atmosphere. What reigns, rules the atmosphere, what governs the atmosphere. But never mind. We have got the next very important exploration by psychologists. This is Professor Anita Kelly. Hats off to her, University of Notre Dame. Now, it is clearly established that telling truth boosts up our happiness and health. They have calculated how many times one speaks unnecessary lies in life. Well, I have given an appointment to you, I will come at 10 o'clock. Well, while gossiping, I get an hour. I come and tell you, oh, there is a traffic jam. I think it is an innocent lie. But something in me records it, does not agree with it. You all know about lie detection, polygraph test. Lie detection text. What is the truth behind it? Very simple truth. Whenever I am lying, something in my personality is not approving it. It is opposing it. And that alone explains how in lie detection my impulses are such, my vibrations are such, my body language or my whatever it is such that it is caught that I am not actually speaking the truth. So, accumulated lies, small, short, sometimes meaningless, they all bring out certain elements which were lying dormant and they manifest. But detailed research is there about it. And they have also shown how some congenital liars, under special circumstances, when they are made to speak nothing but truth for 6 months, 50% of their obstinate diseases have been cured. Dear friends, these things are never publicized much. And silence heals. Noise ails and silence heals. How much importance Mother gives on silence. Enjoy a white silver silence. Now silence, they are speaking about mostly the noise, external noise. But even external noise causes that, health hazard. And when we can free ourselves from the internal noise which consistently torments us for 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Psychologists now say what mystics used to say, what spiritual masters used to say, that the whole lifestyle will change. Attitude to situations will change. Irritation will completely disappear from our personality. And there will be no susceptibility to immediate anger. These are research. And the last, there are so many latest research. This is human intelligence and behavior. Now, according to this research, human intelligence has been declining now. As Sri Aurobindo says, we are passing through an evolutionary crisis. Whatever our mind had to give, it has given. And no longer can it give anything really progressive, really satisfying to person, to man. And the huge technological machinery we have created as our servants will jump onto us and may become our masters unless we have something greater than the mind to control them and something greater than the mind we don't have. And mind at the same time, human intelligence has been declining. They're all researches done by great universities and with nothing but real object of discovering the truth in life. Dear friends, I think I should not prolong too much. Many will question. You see, when Mother's surprise was, another few minutes, Mother's surprise was, when this happened, this great descent took place, or when she hammered the golden door, that great event happened. She expected, others must have felt it. Nobody had felt it. She is surprised. And there is a question and answer. Sweet Mother, you have said, the supramental child is asking. Child means not necessarily a kid. Mother's child, maybe 8 years child or 8 years child. Sweet Mother, you have said the supramental has descended upon the earth. What does that mean exactly? And you have also said the things that were promised are fulfilled. What are these things? That is ignorance indeed, Mother says. This was promised a very long time ago. This was said very long ago. Not only here, since the beginning of the earth, there have been all kinds of predictions by all kinds of prophets. It has been said there will be a new heaven and a new earth, a new race will be born. The world will be transformed. Prophets have spoken about this in all the traditions. The questioner is asking, you have said they are fulfilled. Yes, and so? The Mother is asking, where is the new race? The new race, Mother is asking. Wait for something like a few thousand years. and you will see it. Their mother explains, when the mind descended upon earth, between the time the mind manifested in the earth atmosphere and the time the first man appeared, nearly 1,000,000 years elapsed. Now it will go faster because man expects it. He has a vague idea. He is expecting in some sense the advent of the Superman, while certainly the apes did not expect the birth of man. They had never thought of it, apes from which we came. They had never thought of it for the good reason that they probably don't think much. But man has thought of it and awaits it, so it will go faster. But faster means still thousands of years, probably. We shall speak about it again after a few thousand years. Mother says answer. But subsequently, in so many other messages, Mother has said, in the occult plane, things have been accelerated. Only if human beings were disillusioned about their own activities, only if they did what they should not do, only if they knew that life is not limited to this single span of few years during which they have to enjoy everything possible, only if they knew that there is no karma which has no consequence, either in this life or next life, only if they knew all these things, the great supermind which is waiting and waiting and waiting will certainly manifest quickly. Friends, before I conclude, I must tell you that never get disheartened. Mother and Sri Aurobindo, they work at many planes. You see, not bringing supermind is there. Certainly, we can say, in this incarnation, this was their prime object. But then, they are also our masters. They are also our parents. They are also our gurus. They are always compassionately present in every one of us. As you know, during Second World War, while Sri Aurobindo was talking about, with his few disciples around him, about the situations in the war and all that, as if he's learning from the friends who have read newspapers, they're reporting to him, his mighty power was working in the battlefield, changing the course of the war. Not fable, my dear friend. There are persons who have written about these things. There is our Assam people know, of course, John Kelly, and a young man, American soldier, was practically being guided at the moment of distress by Sri Aurobindo and the mother. He recognized them afterwards. At that time, he called them the great master and the heavenly lady. There was another person whose name is a bit difficult, Czechoslovakian or yes, I think. And yes, his name was Silvio Crescianas. Lost Footsteps, his famous book, where suddenly when he's been tormented by post-Second World War occupants of Czechoslovakia, Poland, etc., Balkan countries, Russian people, authorities, being tormented, Sri Aurobindo appears to him. But Sri Aurobindo was appearing unknown to many, many such people. Accidentally they have come forward without knowing anything. They've written about these things, subsequently they've discovered where Mother and Sri Aurobindo lived, etc., etc. So, anybody who has once turned to the Mother, she is working in him. With one fresh instance, I will conclude my talk. This happened in 1997, not long ago. Sri Aurobindo's 125th birth anniversary. Ashram was, in its modest way, it was celebrating, but many other institutions are celebrating that all over India and in the world. Vishwa Hindu Parishad decided to celebrate it in Pondicherry. Its president Ashok Singhal himself was taking initiative, and there was a huge meeting in the seashore between Mahatma Gandhi statue and Jawaharlal Nehru statue, that field. Thousands of people were there in the evening. I remember Ashok Singhal ji had personally come, asked us to attend it. Myself, I remember Manoj da, Dilip da, and a few other friends we went there. Ashok Singhal spotted me, called me onto the stage. I went and sat there on the stage, spoke for a few minutes also. And then the reception committee chairman stood up to speak. What a lucky evening it was for me. I heard something so wonderful. And that man was Mr. Govinda Rajan. He was once upon a time the magistrate of Pondicherry. Something happened in 1950s, probably in 50s, after Shivandas passing away. There was a document on which mother will sign, and it has to be attested by a high position holding officer. So, two our senior ashramites went to Govinda Rajan, Mr. Govinda Rajan, met him and said, "Sir, will you kindly come once to ashram? Mother will sign before you and you will attest." "I will come." "Why?" "Mother should come here." Mother moves about, I have seen, and why shouldn't come here? And these two emissaries of the mother, they were very much, offset, and they, "Well, sir, do you think it will be proper for mother?" No, I'll give priority. As soon as she comes, I'll finish the work. But she must come here. Why should I go there? She must come here. Anyway, to cut short the story, they didn't argue much. They came back disappointed. And mother saw them. "So, is he coming?" "No, mother. He refused to come. He said, you must come there." "Oh, I see. All right, you go tomorrow." "Tomorrow? He will insult us." "You go tomorrow." Well, next day, again they went, but they're hesitant to enter the officer's room. They are standing outside the screen. The screen is dwindling. Suddenly they hear from a voice from inside, "Gentlemen, please come. I'm waiting for you." The same gentleman. "Look here, he is narrating it. Mr. Govinda Rajan himself is narrating this story. The two ashramites are standing outside. He is calling them, 'Please come. I am ready to go.' They can't understand. 'Have you brought your car?' 'My car is there.' No, we have brought our car. Please come." He goes, Mr. Govinda Rajan goes with them, climbs the mother's room. First thing he does is prostrate flatly before the mother. Then mother signs, she attests, it is over. What is the mystery? The mystery is simple. At night, he sees the vision, the luminous divine mother. "My child, you wanted to see me? Well, done. You wanted to see me? Now you can say it's a miracle." It is not a miracle. We do not know. This man must have been a devotee. This man must have been spiritually hankering for mother's grace for lives together. And sometimes the great attraction is expressed as a kind of antipathy. The great attraction is manifesting through his demand, she should come here. Actually, his soul wants to see, soul wants to go to him. But such things do happen silently, quietly. So, whether this supermind comes today or tomorrow, or 100 years or 1,000 years, the mother's action has started, and the action continues. All we can do is do our best. I won't read further. Mother has said to another question asked, "What can we do?" And mother's clear answer is, collaborate, aspire, and things will be speedy. So, mother remains the divine mother for us, the human mother for us, remains there to be depended upon for all problems of our life. At the same time, the vision of the supramental, their pioneering object, time is something very mysterious. It may be sudden, and mother has said also, great things happen all of a sudden. It may happen suddenly also, but never mind. All we have to remember is the one First, seeing Sri Aurobindo, you all know that what Mother wrote, that we remember, and that will make us supreme optimists. It matters little that there are thousands of beings plunged in the densest ignorance. Mother saw Sri Aurobindo on the 29th of March, 1914, right? So, she writes, it matters little that there are thousands of beings plunged in the densest ignorance. He whom we saw yesterday, on 30th she writes, he whom we saw yesterday is on earth. His presence is enough to prove that a day will come when darkness shall be transformed into light, and the reigns and thy reign, God's reign, shall be indeed established upon earth. So let us remain ever hopeful and faithful to the Mother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.